I have a very simple question to open up this video. Is this the end? Now, we are referring to yesterday's Vancouver Canucks and Seattle Kraken hockey game, wherein the Kraken won 5-1. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a second of this game. The most I saw was maybe a glimpse or a frame of the period intermission as I was walking into the arena where I had my own ice hockey game. I also had a playoff floor hockey game yesterday, so I was doing double-time hockey for my own leagues and my own body, so I was not paying attention to Vancouver-Seattle, and after the games concluded, I was like, oh, well, the Canucks lost. I'm not making a post-game video about that. But we are making a morning after video. Not about the game itself, but about this guy. Because I think it is a very fair question to now be asking, are we witnessing the end of Elias Pettersson as an NHL superstar? Now, I know you can say, wait a minute, Lego, he hasn't been a superstar in years. And okay, that's fine. I can understand that point of view. I do think, however, that throughout the course of the past 2-3 seasons, there was always the benefit of the doubt. There were issues with teammates. There were injuries. There were problems that arose that we could turn to and say, that's why Elias Pettersson is not 100-point form anymore. That's why Elias Pettersson, who's making $11.6 million, is not playing like an $11.6 million player. But after yesterday's game against Seattle, I think it's a lot more fair to ask whether or not we have seen the best of Petey already. You see, the Seattle Kraken won, of course, but Elias Pettersson had a very peculiar night. Here's a tweet. Jason Bruff introducing the topic, no Elias Pettersson on either power play for Vancouver against Seattle. Brendan Batchelor went out there and said this, EP40 was moved onto a line with Karlsson and Höglander in the first period. In the third period, Petey wasn't deployed on either power play unit and didn't see the ice at 6-on-5 with the goalie pulled either. Now, if you're curious to see what these 6-on-5 units looked like, take a look at Tyson Cole's tweet over here. The Canucks are getting aggressive, pulling the goalie with just under 5 minutes to go. The two 6-on-5 units are as follows. Jake DeBrusk, Marco Rossi, Brock Besser, Drew O'Connor, Zeev Buium and Philip Hronek, Kane, Bluger, Connor Garland, Linus Karlsson, Marcus Pettersson, and Tom Wilander. No Elias Pettersson. Now, for what it's worth, there were some folks going out there and wondering why this happened. You had Kelly Hirudi on the broadcast saying he thinks Pettersson got injured. Ron asked them if they think it's an injury or Pettersson just straight up getting benched. And then Kevin Bieksa responds by saying they should ask that doctor on Twitter that diagnosed Sidney Crosby. So maybe a little bit of shade at the TSN folks over there for getting into beef over diagnosing injuries on social media. But for what it's worth, Adam Foote went out there and said in the postgame that Elias Pettersson needs to be better. Here is Thomas Drance's tweet on Elias Pettersson. Pettersson was available postgame. He wasn't on the ice late because of a coach's decision. Foote said that Pettersson has got to be better, and he knows that. Petey replied, the coach is coaching to win. Whatever he decides, I respect. I've got to be better. My number wasn't called. Now, this is where a lot of Canucks fans are going to go out there and share their opinions about what's going on. MD Nuck0 on Twitter said, EP40's career might be the most disappointing tale I have witnessed in my life. A true superstar at his apex, one of the top players in his position in the world, turned into a mediocre, unremarkable shell of himself, lost all confidence, agility, and talent. Unbelievable. This tweet has 300 likes. Rookie and sophomore Elias Pettersson was getting Bure comparisons in this market. How he would create something exciting every single shift. It's crazy where we came from and where we are. Was it injury? Lack of conditioning? Bulking too much or poor work ethic? Some comments are going out there and saying he got paid and that's all he wanted. This is what Sapster went out there and said. The talent is there. The skating isn't. The confidence isn't. The process isn't. Every player in this franchise except Filip Hronek, yes, even Quinn Hughes, came into this season with bounce-back expectations and failed. Besser, Demko, Petey, nobody lived up to the expectations. Sapp is saying here it's an organizational issue just as much as it's on the players. Now, let's go back over to that Our Canucks post of Adam Foote talking about how Pettersson needs to be better and read some of the replies over here. Petey was my favorite player, and I have a jersey with his name on the back, but it really does feel like it's setting in that he's never going to be an elite player for the Canucks. Miller, Hughes, Tocchet, and now Adam Foote have all said similar things about his work ethic and effort. Maybe a trade can bring back some life, but it just gets more and more depressing as time goes on. Same here, Radio Dude 1995 said. Pettersson was absolutely my favorite Canuck at one time, but it's amazing how things have turned. I wish him well and I hope he finds his game, but I don't think it'll be here. Another reply goes out there and says, $11.6 million no-show. Okay, normally I wouldn't hate the idea of benching a guy, but right before the trade deadline, all the scouts in the building just pressed X on EP40 right there. Petey chose to crap the bed tonight, and no goals in his last 13 or whatever it is. He's pathetic. Man, imagine going out there onto our Canucks of all places, calling Elias Pettersson pathetic and getting upvoted for that. Like if you had made that comment a year ago, nobody would be upvoting that. Oh, Pettersson had a rough year because he was with JT Miller, like that's the reason, that's the excuse. But now, the guy's by himself. There's no Hughes anymore. There's no Miller. He's supposed to be the guy. And no matter what it is that Rutherford or Foote goes out there and says, or Patrick Allvin says about Elias Pettersson, they believe in him. They think he can be the player that they signed him to be, the player that they gave $11.6 million to. This game against Seattle may or may not have been the fork in the road. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But I think there's enough ammo here to go out there and talk about the narrative. Spoiler alert, guys, I didn't need to watch this hockey game to tell you that Elias Pettersson got benched. So, yeah, Lego, you need to be able to watch the games in order to commentate on it. Again, I'm not talking about the game specifically, but this entire narrative that has been built around Petey, I do think bears repeating. So with all that said, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you see out of EP40 Elias Pettersson yesterday, and what do you think you're going to see heading into the next few years? This guy's on the books till 2032. There are however many years left after this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more years of EP40 making $11.6 million set for the Vancouver Canucks. Is it time to trade him? Was it already time to trade him a while ago? Is there a possibility of a trade with him getting benched and not played against Seattle? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Sorry that this isn't a traditional post-game video, but I don't really know if anybody wants that kind of a piece of content at this stage. I think this is a lot more of a juicy topic to talk about, so thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.